back after the break. Voting is taking place in 96 seats across 9 states and in Jammu Kashmir in the fourth phase of Lok Sabha polls today. Voting for all 175 seats of the Andhra Pradesh Assembly and 28 seats in Odisha is also underway. Well, the Lok Sabha seats in play today are all 25 Lok Sabha seats in Andhra Pradesh as well as 17 Lok Sabha seats in Telangana. And with that, polling will come to an end in the southern part of India. Well, in other states, 13 seats of UP, 11 in Maharashtra, 8 each in Bengal and Madhya Pradesh are also witnessing voting. Now we are learning the voter turnout so far that has been recorded till 1 p.m. is at 40.3% in the phase 4 of polling. Over 40% voter turnout has been recorded in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana as well. Well, my colleague Pratibha also now joins us on the broadcast. She is joining us from Vijayawada in Andhra Pradesh. Well, Pratibha, all 25 Lok Sabha seats of Andhra Pradesh are voting today, as well as the simultaneous polls taking place in Andhra Pradesh in the assembly, assembly polls as well, as we see. How well has been the voter turnout so far in Andhra Pradesh?
Well, in fact, to answer that question, let me ask my camera person to pan and show you. It is scorching sun that you witness. It is now 2:35 p.m. here, and you can see scorching summer, but braving the heat here are voters who have turned up in large numbers to cast their vote, exercise their franchise, and participate in this festival of democracy. Huge queues lining up, a pleasant sight to see this right bang in the afternoon, braving the heat here, and most of them who may have not even had their lunch. Let me see if I can go across to a couple of voters here to bring you the key issues here, because this time it is a high decibel election. An interesting one, because we also have local issues as well as national issues playing out, because simultaneous election, assembly as well as general election that is happening. Let me see if I can go to those youngsters here. Can you speak a few lines? Don't shy away. A few lines. What are you voting on? What are the key issues?
First time.
First time. Are you excited?
Yes.
Can you come forward and speak? What are the key issues that is playing in your mind as you cast your vote today?
English
Sorry?
English no.
English రాదు.
What about English కాదు? Okay. మీ మైండ్ లో ఏమి పెట్టుకొని ఓట్ చేస్తున్నారు? Right, quite a lukewarm response there. Let me see if I can go across to a couple of women voters as well, because interestingly enough, women voters outnumber the male voters here. మీ మైండ్ లో ఏమి పెట్టుకొని ఓట్ చేస్తున్నారు?
మంచిగా పెట్టుకొని వేస్తున్నాం. టీడీపీకి.
Right, voting for good governance there. Let me see if I can go close. మైండ్ లో ఏమి పెట్టుకొని ఓట్ చేస్తున్నారు? Okay, quite lukewarm response there in terms of speaking to the camera, but then it is pretty interesting to see that all of them have turned out here in large numbers to cast their vote and exercise their franchise. And to give you a brief picture of the high decibel election here, well, it is a triangular fight that is witnessed in Andhra Pradesh. We have the NDA alliance on one side with TDP, BJP as well as Janasena's Pawan Kalyan there, and on the other hand you have the YSRCP trying to bring forth its welfare initiatives and secure a second term here. And with respect to the third is an interesting personality, Sharmila Reddy, who is the sister of Jagan Reddy. So what are the key issues that's playing in your mind? Capital city for Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, తెలుగులో మాట్లాడొచ్చా? స్టేట్కి ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ అనేది కావాలి. ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో క్యాపిటల్ కంపల్సరీ ఉండాలి. అది ఇప్పటివరకు లేకపోవడం అంటే ఫ్యూచర్గా ఫర్దర్గా ఉన్న జనరేషన్స్కి ఏం చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నారు గవర్నమెంట్ అనేది ఇప్పటివరకు ఏం క్లారిటీ ఇవ్వట్లేదు. సో ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్కి క్యాపిటల్ అనేది కంపల్సరీ ఒకటి ఉండాలి. ప్రతి పౌరుడు కూడా సగర్వంగా మా క్యాపిటల్ ఇది అని చెప్పుకోగలగాలి. దట్ ఈస్
The issue of capital city has been an election issue, and it is playing in the minds of voters as well. This time they are hoping that Andhra Pradesh would really vote for development as well as have a finality in terms of fixing its capital city for Andhra Pradesh. Well, a lot of action that was witnessed today in Vijayawada as well as the neighboring districts, Guntur, where you saw an MLA who indulged in almost a fist fight with one of the voters there, and a high decibel election in terms of several other polling booths where there was a lot of action between the YSRCP workers and the TDP workers there. It's not just in the polling booths, it was witnessed in the campaigns as well, leading to the final day, that's the election here. Well, all answers would lie on June 4th when they elect the Chief Minister as well as finalize the capital city for Andhra Pradesh. Back to you.
Absolutely. Well, some of the voters were ready to speak, but yes, we do see that some people have been shy in coming in front of the camera. However, the kind of response that is being witnessed at the polling booths, Pratibha, is commendable. Well, huge queues we see behind you of the voters coming out in the scorching heat, as you said, and coming here to exercise their franchise, to cast their votes. That's commendable. Thank you so much, Pratibha, for getting us all those details there. Well, shifting our focus now to Maharashtra, it's a heated battle between Mahayuti and Mahavikas Aghadi in Maharashtra for the 11 Lok Sabha seats today. The key fight is being played out in Marathwada region, where Maratha quota as well as agrarian distress continue to loom. We'd spoken to Pankaja Munde earlier, BJP candidate from Beed. Listen to what she had to say.
हम इस वक्त बीड़ में मौजूद हैं और आप देख सकते हैं कि बीड़ से जो बीजेपी की उम्मीदवार हैं पंकजा मुंडे, वो इस वक्त यहाँ बीड़ के परली वैजनाथ में कालरात्रि मंदिर में यहाँ पर पहुँची हैं। आज इनके लिए परीक्षा का दिन है। यहाँ पर इनका मुकाबला एनसीपी शरद पवार गुट के बजरंग सोनावणे से हो रहा है। साल 2009 से बीड़ की ये सीट बीजेपी का गढ़ रही है। 2009 में पंकजा मुंडे के पिता गोपीनाथ मुंडे यहाँ से सांसद चुने गए थे। 2014 में वो फिर सांसद चुने गए। ये चुनाव इनके लिए चुनौतीपूर्ण इसलिए है क्योंकि जो मराठा आरक्षण का मुद्दा गरमाया था, जिसको लेकर काफ़ी सियासत हुई, काफ़ी हिंसा हुई, उसका एक एपिसेंटर बीड़ था। आज आपके लिए एक परीक्षा का दिन है, तो जब भी कोई ऐसा बड़ा मौका होता है, जब भी आप चुनाव में उतरती हैं, तो क्या आशीर्वाद लेने के लिए हमेशा आती हैं?
मैं ज़रूर आती हूँ। मैं वैद्यनाथ प्रभु के भी आशीर्वाद लेने जाती हूँ। हमारा जब मैं मतदान के पहले जाऊँगी या फॉर्म भरने के पहले, जो 12 ज्योतिर्लिंगों में से एक वैद्यनाथ का मंदिर है यहाँ पर, वहाँ पे भी मैं जाती हूँ। वही देखते हैं बचपन से, तो उसी ट्रेंड से हम सब कर रहे हैं।
धन्यवाद पंकजा जी। कैमरामैन राजेंद्र दयालकर के साथ जितेंद्र दीक्षित, NDTV, बीड़।
All right, let's also go to my colleague Radhika here. She is in Pune at the moment, gauging the mood on the ground. And Radhika, what is the atmosphere like? We've seen how in Andhra Pradesh, of course, as we've been speaking to Pratibha earlier, there were huge queues of voters lining up to cast their votes. What is it that you can see in Pune? It's an interesting contest that is being played out between the Mahayuti and the Mahavikas Aghadi in Pune as well. All right, we'll try and go to Radhika in just a bit. That is the latest that's coming in at the moment. We'll be getting more on that. At the moment, what we're learning is that as polling is taking place for 11 Lok Sabha seats in Maharashtra, it's a riveting contest that is being played out between the Mahayuti and Mahavikas Aghadi. And there are key issues including the farmer distress, the water crisis, Maratha reservation issue that is going to be dominant in this phase. All right, Radhika joins us back on the broadcast. Radhika, if you're able to hear me, how does the atmosphere look like on the ground in Andhra Pradesh? As we spoke to Pratibha earlier, there has been huge queues of voters coming out in large numbers to cast their votes. How has the voter turnout so far been in these key seats in Maharashtra?
Yes, certainly fascinating contest between MVA and Mahayuti in Maharashtra this time. In this phase, of course, 11 seats going to polls. This include semi-urban, rural, urban areas, and I am in one such urban area of Pune, where in fact since morning we've been seeing huge queues, at least in this particular polling booth. We did visit a few other polling booths where the response as far as voting is concerned is quite lukewarm, but for an urban constituency it is not as bad, because in the morning we did see huge queues, and as I said, as far as the other constituencies are concerned, of course there's Beed, there's Aurangabad. These are rural, semi-urban constituencies where, as you said, it's the agrarian crisis and the Maratha reservation issue that plays out. Let me go across to some of these urban voters to find out what they have voted for today. Yeah, you just came back from the polling booth. You just cast your vote. Take us through the issues that you're facing in Pune. What are the issues that you voted for today?
Actually, we would see the condition of Pune. There is a lot of traffic. Considering being the roads are getting wider, but still there is a traffic jam that we are facing right
All
now.
right.
As well as I think that most of the public are being migrated to Pune, so there is a lot of job opportunities as well, which is not being catered to them as of such.
Okay.
But I do see that it might get fixed in the near future as well.
Traffic jobs, sir. What are the issues that you voted for today?
Mostly jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jobs.
Yeah.
And ma'am, why don't you tell us, as a woman voter, आपके क्या मुद्दे थे आज वोट करने टाइम? You're on
I
line.
did my duty. Now it's the government to do their duty.
Okay.
Same thing, that same. I did my duty, now they should do something.
Okay. Yes, sir. You.
The big thing is that I don't know, we are moving into a digital world and still we don't, there's no name in the voter list. I'm roaming around since morning asking them there's no name, what should we do to cast our vote? We have
Okay,
the
so
Aadhaar
your
card.
vote, your name is not in the list.
Yes, name is not.
Same thing I have to tell is, see, we have 10 members. We have all of them voted for the last time also. The names were there. But right now, when you are digital, and we improved everything. When you say you have the right to vote, we have our IDs, everything we have.
And
but
you cast your vote here before.
yeah, I have my records with me. But they are saying your name has been deleted over here. So when we have our IDs, and how is that possible?
Same with me. I've been voting for the last 30 years in the same polling booth and my name is missing this time.
Okay, so some issues also being
This is a big issue.
witnessed
This is
here.
a big issue.
Absolutely. So a
When
lot
we
of
are citizens
voters
of
are
India-
unable to vote here despite the fact that they had been voting here for quite some time. So this is something we'd like to broadcast as well. The fact that in this particular polling booth in Kalyani Nagar, there are multiple.
Okay, all right, Radhika, you've spoken to people there. We've heard their voices, how they've been finding it difficult to cast their vote as they couldn't find their names in the voting list. We do hope that is sorted out soon. Meanwhile, we have some more news that we're tracking at the moment. We're learning violence has broken out in several parts of West Bengal. Well, voting is taking place in 8 seats in West Bengal. Meanwhile, those are the visuals now that have come in at the moment. TMC, BJP workers have clashed in Durgapur, that is the latest coming in. Clashes have taken place in Bardhaman Durgapur constituency between the TMC and BJP workers. My colleague Saurabh Gupta joins us on the broadcast, getting us more on that. Saurabh, what happened there?
Well, violence has broken out in one place, and this is, of course, in the Bardhaman Durgapur constituency, where what we saw was that there were some clashes between BJP and TMC supporters. And this was relating to, the movement of, Dilip Ghosh, the Bardhaman Durgapur candidate. Now, earlier in the day, there were some visuals of the TMC candidate Kirti Azad and the Bardhaman Durgapur BJP candidate Dilip Ghosh meeting each other. And as courteous, politicians also greeting and hugging each other while they cross their vehicles. But obviously, the supporters in several parts are not as courteous perhaps as the politicians themselves, and therefore what we saw was clashes in some parts, and there we saw that there was some pushing and shoving with the police also. We given to understand that there was some damage to some car and some people received minor injuries, but that's the latest as far as this area is concerned. This is within the Bardhaman Durgapur constituency where the candidates are Dilip Ghosh and Kirti Azad from the Trinamool Congress.
Okay. We have some breaking news now coming in. We're learning an FIR has been registered against BJP Hyderabad candidate Madhvi Lata. On camera, Madhvi Lata was seen the women voters at a booth to remove their veil. BJP Hyderabad candidate's checking drive has been caught on camera. This happened at a booth we are learning in Hyderabad. Well, Madhvi Lata seen in those visuals there at a polling booth, asking the women voters who were wearing burqa to remove their veil. And Madhvi Lata's response also has come after this video now has gone viral. She said that I have a right to check the IDs without the face mask. The police, however, has now filed an FIR for disrupting the poll process. Remember, Madhvi Lata is the BJP candidate against Asaduddin Owaisi in Hyderabad. She is fighting on the Hyderabad seat, and now this video now has gone viral in which Madhvi Lata is seen asking women voters to remove their veil and is checking their identities. Let's listen into what she said.
या मैं कैंडिडेट हूं और एज पर लॉ कैंडिडेट हैज अ राइट to check the identity card with the face, without the face mask. I'm not a male, I'm a female, and with lot of humbleness, I've only requested them, can I please see and verify with the ID card? And if somebody wants to make a big issue out of it, that means that he's scared of it.
All right, Madhvi Lata in her defense is saying that she has a right to check the IDs without face mask, and if somebody is making it an issue, that means they are scared. My colleague Uma Sudhir also joins us on the broadcast here, getting us more on that. Well, Uma, Madhvi Lata in her statement has said that she has a right to check the IDs without face mask, but the video clearly proves that she is trying to disrupt the poll process. It's a violation of election rules, and so the FIR has been registered against her.
I've spoken to the district election officer of Hyderabad, Mr. Ronald Rose, and he said that the identity of a voter can be ascertained only by the poll officers sitting there, who are in fact stationed there for that very purpose. If a candidate has a doubt about the credentials of any person who's coming in, whether there's a case of impersonation or not adequate backup documents have been provided, then they must alert the poll officials, who will then subsequently carry out such a check, and no candidate is allowed to physically themselves try to verify whether the voter is an impersonator or whether there is any other problem with the voter who has presented herself at the polling booth. So the district election officer has in fact said that they see this as a disruption of the poll process, because even though it has not happened inside the polling booth, it has happened in the polling premises, and therefore this is seen as a disruption, and they are going to be booking a case, an FIR in this context. Some other legal experts in fact saying that the women may also in fact file a case of their violation of their privacy, because she is actually physically checking them. Actually in the video you can hear Madhvi Lata expressing surprise about the age that's mentioned on the card, and then looking at the person under the veil and expressing suspicion that they are not the right candidate. Subsequently, there's also another video that shows her talking to some poll officials, and she's in fact saying that if you don't take action, I will go to the highest authorities and complain about this, and so on and so forth. So Madhvi Lata, of course, as you mentioned, is the BJP candidate from Hyderabad Lok Sabha constituency, where we have seen a very polarized kind of a campaign. It would almost seem as though the BJP was appealing to the non-Muslim voters there, and as though the Asaduddin Owaisi, in fact, trying to keep his hold over that bastion there. But a similar video has also emerged from Nizamabad Lok Sabha constituency, where Dharmapuri Arvind is the BJP candidate, and he's also the sitting MP, and he's heard shouting out in the video saying that how do you know these women belong to my voter list? And of course in this case he is not asking them to remove the veil or anything, but he's raising his voice and talking to the poll officer, asking for the credentials to be verified, expressing doubts about the women who have come in burqa.
Okay, we'll talk about that also. Uma, stay on with us. We also are being joined by BJP spokesperson Mr. Kishore Reddy on the broadcast. We also have AIMIM spokesperson Varis Pathan joining us on the broadcast as well. Mr. Pathan, if I could come to you first, what would you say to this video now that has gone viral? Madhvi Lata seen checking the identities of these women voters. However, in her defense, she said that she has the right to check the IDs without face masks.
Well, there had been reports that the BJP candidate from Hyderabad, Lok Sabha, Madhvi Lata, was openly insulting Muslim women voters at various polling booths. It was very concerning that she is checking their faces and IDs, which was obstructing free and fair polling, particularly by targeting Muslim women. So we requested the EC Election Commission to take strict action And now, for your kind information, a case has been booked. A case is registered in Mallakpat Police Station. Mallakpat Police Station against Madhavi Lata for BJP under Section 171C, 186, 505, 1C of the IPC, and Section 132 of the Representation of the People's Act. So this is correct. The case should be booked. How can you go there? You are obstructing a free and fair poll, and who has given you the authority to go there? Are you working for the Election Commission? Huh? You go there, you tell the Muslim women to remove off their veils, you killing their time, you are not allowing them to cast their votes.
Okay, Mr. Pathan.
The democracy and the free and fair poll. So that is why now the case is registered, and we think that strict action will be taken against.
Okay, Mr. Pathan, I'll come back to you. Let me take a reaction from the BJP also. Mr. Kishore Reddy, what would you say? Why would Madhavi Lata go to a polling booth and check the identities of the women voters there?
Ma'am, only than 2 lakh fake votes have been removed from the electoral list from the old city, that is the Hyderabad constituency. This issue has been a major issue for the past 40 years. First Sultan Salahuddin Owaisi ji, and then the next Asaduddin Owaisi is now the MP from the MIM. For the past 40 years, they have been winning from the same seat. And it has been, there is huge suspicion, not only suspicion, but a single home having, or a flat having more than 100 votes. Those kind of things are...
Sir, even if there was any kind of suspicion, even if Mr. Owaisi has been winning the seat consecutively, that doesn't mean that the candidate could go to a polling booth and conduct the verification or check the identities of the voters. The EC officials are supposed to do that. If there is any cause for concern.
I'm coming to that. So the fake votes, we already know there were more than 2 lakh fake votes. And that is only a tip of the iceberg that has been removed. So when we talk about free and fair polls, free and fair poll is if the voter is not the same person as the person who is coming to vote. How do we know that? We can only ascertain that through proper identification. Otherwise, I mean, there is no fair poll actually. If there are so many fake votes, and if anyone is allowed to vote without just because you are wearing a burqa or something else, if your identity is not verified, then there is no fair poll at all. So that's what Madhavi Lata Garu is concerned about, and she has gone to the polling stations to verify that.
So you're saying she's done nothing wrong. She's done nothing wrong. But she's been booked by the police. Why do you think the police would take an action if she's done nothing wrong, sir?
See, exactly. So the case is booked. The law will take its course. I'm not saying whether she has done wrong, whether she has not done wrong. I'm not in the premises to ascertain the facts. But from what all we hear, there is a concern. And the concern is that there are a lot of fake votes. And that is how the MIM has been winning over the decades. And even the deletion of 2 lakh votes just last month itself says how big the problem is. So the candidate being concerned about fake votes being casted and then going to the polling booths to verify that that is not the case is a logical
Okay, all right. That is the BJP's defense here in this case. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kishore Reddy, for speaking to us and sharing your views. Well, that is the video now that has gone viral. That's on your TV screens. Madhavi Lata there at a polling booth. She's in the polling booth premises here. She's not inside the polling booth, but that's also a violation of the rules as per the information now coming in, and a case now has been registered against her. All right. Shifting our focus now to some more news that we are tracking. At the moment, we'll go to that story, but at the moment, there is more information now coming in with regards to this story that we are reporting at the moment. We are learning now an FIR has been registered against the BJP Hyderabad candidate Madhavi Lata. On camera, she was seen. The women, she was seen asking the women voters to lift their veil, to lift their burqa and show their identities. Well, the BJP here, as we spoke to the BJP spokesperson here, he said that there is cause for concern. There have been a number of fake votes and cast in this constituency time and again, and that is why the BJP candidate had to do that. But the police has booked her. Well, the police has filed a case against her. That is the latest now coming in at the moment. Latest update that we are getting at the moment. Well, Madhavi Lata, in her defense, we do understand, has said she has the right to check the IDs. Well, people were sitting there without face mask. with the face mask, and she has the right to check their identity, and some people are trying to make an issue out of it. But now we do understand a case has been registered against her because this is being seen as the violation of election rules and disrupting the poll process as well. And so now we are learning FIR has been registered against Madhvi Lata. Some more news now that we're tracking in a brazen show of VIP culture in Andhra Pradesh. MLA slapped a voter reportedly after he had objected to the legislator jumping the queue at a polling booth in Guntur district. In a video that has now gone viral, YSRCP MLA Sivakumar is seen approaching the voter and slapping him across the face. That's the video on your TV screens. The voter returned the blow and the MLA's aide joined him in launching an all-out assault on the voter. Now, FIR has been registered in this case involving the Andhra Pradesh MLA. That's the video now that has gone viral as well. That's on your TV screens. Andhra Pradesh MLA seen on camera slapping a voter, and his aides also are seen in this video thrashing this voter on camera. My colleague Uma also now joins us on the broadcast here. Uma, we have development coming in this case. We are learning an FIR now has been registered.
Yeah, the Guntur police in fact has not shared any details, but we do understand that an FIR has been registered in this particular case of the YSRCP MLA, in fact assaulting that voter, and that action being caught on camera. It was very obvious that something like this should be taken cognizance of by the election authorities there and also the police. And what we do understand is that the police was inquiring into what exactly happened there. So while what the provocation may be in this particular case may be subject to investigation, it does appear that the video that came out was certainly not something that was fake or tampered with, because it appeared to be raw video straight from the polling booth, and so many people were eyewitnesses to what happened. And the video has gone viral with the YSRCP MLA Mr. A. Siva actually assaulting this man who is in the queue. So while the TDP has said that he was asking him to follow the queue and not jump the line, and this person was incensed and goes on. There's a second video other than the one that you see of the man being slapped. There's another one in which this man was initially assaulted. Incidentally, he happens to be in saffron clothing, but he actually falls to the ground, and there are at least a dozen men who seem to be stamping him, and no one, in fact, you cannot see any policemen around, and you can see, in fact, others trying to stop in the melee, trying to save this man who is being stamped by these supporters of this MLA who got slapped as a return gift by the man who was assaulted in the first place. But very clearly, he has been targeted and assaulted by the henchmen of the YSRCP MLA, and therefore in this particular case the police has no option but to take cognizance of it and book a case, because this has all happened within the premises of the polling booth itself, because the polling booth is inside, but within the polling station this has happened, and certainly taken cognizance of. Political reactions, of course, have been coming into it. The YSRCP certainly on the defensive with regard to what has happened in this case, and they are hoping that this will not have negative repercussions for their party with this video going viral.
Absolutely, and that is the latest now coming in. That's the video that's right in front of us, in which the YSRCP MLA belonging to Jagan Mohan Reddy's party is seen slapping this voter. What we are learning through the information now that is coming in at the moment is that the voter had objected to the MLA jumping the queue at this polling booth, and after which this ruckus erupted, and the MLA's men also, as we can see in that video, also thrashing and brutally beating up this man. Now an FIR has been registered. Thank you so much, Uma, for getting us all those details there. Shifting our focus now in the case concerning Aam Aadmi Party leader Swati Maliwal, a call was made to Delhi police claiming that she was assaulted at the Chief Minister's house. Sources are telling NDTV that the caller had claimed to be ex-DCW Chief Swati Maliwal, and this caller had claimed that she was assaulted at Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's house. Now, well, political face-off also has erupted. BJP has raked up this matter. The BJP has said that first the Aam Aadmi Party has been looting the public, and now they are also involved in violence against women. Well, that is the latest that we are picking up at the moment. We'll try and get more details about the development in this case. What we are learning through sources at the moment is that this caller, who claimed to be ex-DCW Chief Swati Maliwal, had claimed that she was assaulted at Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's house, and the BJP has raked up this issue, saying that earlier the Aam Aadmi Party, who's been looting the public, who's mired in corruption, is now also indulging in violence against women. Tanushka, my colleague, is now joining us on the broadcast. All right, we'll try and get more details about this in just a bit. That is the latest that's coming in at the moment, information that we are receiving at the moment. All right, Tanushka now joins us on the broadcast, getting us more on that. Tanushka, what more details are coming out? Any more update that has come in on this news story that we're tracking?
As you said, that the BJP has given their reactions on the issue. However, the Aam Aadmi Party or Swati Maliwal have not made any comment on the matter yet. It is indeed a fact that Delhi police was made 2 PCR calls earlier this morning at around 9:30 a.m. from a woman who alleged that she is Swati Maliwal and that she was assaulted by Arvind Kejriwal's PA at the Chief Minister's official residence. According to Delhi police, they immediately took to the matter and reached the residence of the Chief Minister. However, Maliwal was not there. Whether this, the claim of the assault is true or not can only be confirmed if Swati Maliwal files a complaint, which hasn't been done yet. Sources say that she would be filing in a complaint at the Civil Lines police station. However, as of now, the Delhi police is trying to reach Swati Maliwal as well, but they have not been able to base contact with her, and the woman who alleged that she is Swati Maliwal and she is called, the Delhi police said that she has called from Swati Maliwal's own number. So, which is what makes all of this like a question mark as to, the police are still investigating as to who was the caller really, and are these allegations true and real or not. And Delhi police says that they are still investigating into the matter. No complaint has been filed as of yet. So before that happens and before contact is made with Swati Maliwal, nothing can be confirmed as of now.
So what we're learning at the moment is that the caller's identity has not been verified yet. If she is actually Swati Maliwal, or there is somebody else who called claiming to be Swati Maliwal to the Delhi police, that needs to be ascertained first. Well, as my colleague Tanushka has been telling us here, that the police has not been able to establish contact even with Swati Maliwal yet and confirm it. Meanwhile, BJP leader Bansuri Swaraj also spoke on this matter earlier. Listening.
बहुत ही शर्मसार करने वाली एक खबर मीडिया के थ्रू हम सबको पता चली है। ये पता चला है कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के उकसाने पर उनके ओएसडी ने हाथ उठाया है, अभद्र व्यवहार करा है, दुराचार करा है उन्हीं की पार्टी की सांसद स्वाति मालिवाल जी के साथ। मीडिया के जरिए हमें पता चला है कि स्वाति मालिवाल जी ने पीसीआर को आज सुबह कॉल कर शिकायत कर दी थी, और ये पूरा का पूरा अभद्र व्यवहार स्वाति मालिवाल जी के साथ माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की मौजूदगी में उनके ऑफिशियल रेजिडेंस पे हुआ है। ये बहुत ही शर्मसार करने वाली बात है, ये बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण बात है। और हाँ, राजनीतिक विचारधारा का विरोध या विभिन्नता को दरकिनार करते हुए भारतीय जनता पार्टी और खास करके भारतीय जनता पार्टी की महिला कार्यकर्ता होने के नाते कमलजीत सहरावत जी और मैं इस वाकये की कड़ी निंदा करते हैं, और हम सवाल पूछते हैं माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से, उनकी जवाबदेही बनती है इसमें। अरे अगर आप ही की पार्टी की एक वर्कर, आप ही की पार्टी की कार्यकर्ता, आप ही की पार्टी की सांसद, एक ऐसी सांसद स्वाति मालीवाल जिनको आपने डीसीडब्ल्यू का अध्यक्ष बनाया था, जिनको आपने ये जिम्मेदारी दी थी कि वे महिलाओं के अधिकारों के लिए आवाज उठाएं, अगर उन्हीं के ऊपर आपकी मौजूदगी में आप ही का ओएसडी हाथ उठा रहा है, अगर वे आपकी ही मौजूदगी में सुरक्षित नहीं हैं, तो दिल्ली की महिलाओं की, दिल्ली की बेटियों की, दिल्ली की बहुओं की सुरक्षा आप क्या करेंगे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी? और ये पहली बार नहीं हुआ है, आप सबको याद होगा पहले भी दिल्ली के एक चीफ सेक्रेटरी के साथ इसी तरह फिजिकल असॉल्ट का वाकया सामने आया था, वो केस चला भी था। ये क्या रिवायत बन गई है माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की कि अगर कोई भी, मैं कहती हूं, डिसेंट कर रहा हो या कुछ भी होगा, क्या ये सही है, क्या ये सिविल है कि आपकी मौजूदगी में और आपके उकसाने पे आपके अफसर, आपके ओएसडीज या आपके विधायक कभी चीफ सेक्रेटरी पे हाथ उठा देते हैं, कभी आप ही की पार्टी की एक महिला सांसद पे हाथ उठा देते हैं? दिल्ली सुरक्षित नहीं है। और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी तो अभी इंतरिम जमानत पर आए हैं। ये कैसा व्यवहार है? अगर एक मुख्यमंत्री अपने ही आवास पर एक महिला सांसद को या अपने ही चीफ सेक्रेटरी की फिजिकल सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित नहीं कर सकते, तो वो दिल्ली की सुरक्षा क्या सुनिश्चित करेंगे? भारतीय जनता पार्टी माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से उनका जवाब मांगती है। वो दोबारा चुप्पी नहीं साध सकते। ये पुरानी आदत बन गई है माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की कि जब भी उनकी पार्टी की महिला विरोधी गतिविधियां मीडिया में आती हैं तो वो मौन धारण कर लेते हैं। अब नहीं, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी जवाब दीजिए।
Well, the BJP there has launched an all-out attack on the Aam Aadmi Party over the issue. However, as we've been saying it earlier as well, that the police has not been able to contact Swati Maliwal yet, and the details are yet to come out. Meanwhile, shifting our focus now to some more news that we're tracking. It's a big blow for former Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren. The PMLA court has rejected Hemant Soren's bail plea. Remember, the court had reserved order on 4th May after the arguments in the case. However, there is no relief for Hemant Soren in the matter. Well, this comes even as Arvind Kejriwal was recently given interim bail for campaigning in the Lok Sabha polls, and Hemant Soren filing his plea in the court had said, his counsel had said that his case was covered by Arvind Kejriwal's order, and that is what we are learning at the moment. Well, the matter now will be heard on 17th of May now. My colleague Sunil Prabhu also now joins us on the broadcast here. Sunil, this is the latest that we are getting at the moment. Hemant Soren's plea now has been rejected by the court.
That's right. It has been, not rejected in the sense that his plea has been heard. It's going to be heard on the 17th of this month. This, of course, after the no less than the Supreme Court had a protracted battle between Mr. Hemant Soren's lawyer, that is Kapil Sibal, who was, saying that I'll withdraw the petition if we can't get relief immediately. The court wanted to take it up during the vacations from the 20th. But on that plea, Mr. Kapil Sibal kept pushing the point, saying that if you have given relief to Kejriwal, it's the same thing that applies to us. And in this context, the land is not in possession. It's just basically a hearsay. But without going into the merits, and even though the matter had been issued on the 6th to the Enforcement Directorate, it's in that context that the Supreme Court has finally conceded to hear this entire protracted legal battle on Hemant Soren's interim bail on the 17th of this month. Of course, they made it very clear that we are not going to give interim bail until we entirely hear this entire issue.
Thank you so much, Sunil, for getting us all those details there. Well, that is the latest information that we're getting at the moment now in the money laundering case against former Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren. No interim bail yet for Hemant Soren. Remember, his counsel had also cited Arvind Kejriwal's bail example in the court, and at the moment what we are learning is that the matter is going to be heard on 17th of May, but there seems no relief for the former Jharkhand Chief Minister at this point in time. All right, with that, it's time for a short break here. More news and updates continue on the other side. Stay tuned.